T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward leg now in SM. Okay, you sound good. Discovery Houston, negative return. Copy, negative return.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. But I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw the hedgies. Screw those hedgies. Oh man, I went to go pump my fist and that hurt. I got news for you guys. Oh, man. So last night I was doing my normal routine, kind of DD stuff before the end of the night. Hit the restroom real quick. Was coming out of the restroom. House was dark. It was really late at night. It was like maybe 11 o'clock at night. And I tripped over Bruno. And I went down hard. I mean, really, really hard. And my right arm broke my fall right on the supporting leg of the Peloton. And that wheel, they've got these like rollerblade wheels that are on the side of that thing, and my arm landed right on that thing, and it feels to this morning it feels like it's broken. Immediately started going into shock last night. Couldn't move. I was laying on the ground. I felt like that person. I've fallen and I can't get up. That was terrible. 45 years old, feeling like that. I was just laying there, and man, I was in pain. I was in so much pain. I got up this morning and looked at everything. Everything's, for the most part, looks pretty normal on my body, but my arm still hurts like really, really bad, and I'm stiff everywhere. So I'm trying to, my right arm especially hurts, and that's the one I got to use for the mouse. So bear with me as I'm slower today, in pain, a lot of pain. And but you know what? We have an important topic. Enough about me. Let's talk about the topic for the day. What the heck is this? Why am I? It's not Veterans Day. It's not Memorial Day. Why the heck am I talking about supporting the troops? Let's defend them. We need to talk because I don't think all of our veterans know what's going on, and this is important stuff. And I don't want to get into like tinfoil hat things. I just want to talk about the facts, cold hard facts here. So this is important. If you know somebody who is a veteran, or somebody who is their retirement plan inside of a TSP plan, this is going to apply to them. And TSP stands for Thrift Savings Plan. I'm going to show you an article that I'll tell you guys a little bit later about it, but let's just dive into the nitty gritty. It's 6:10 in the morning. The video is approximately 3 minutes and 25 seconds into the video. Oh, wait, no, hold on a second. The video is approximately, I don't know how to see what the video is at. I have no idea how long I'm into this video, but anyways, like, mark this point down. I'm going to mark it with a bookmark, and I'll try and put something in the notes. Point a troop to this. a troop or a veteran, anybody that you know who thinks this may apply to them, this has to do with their life savings. Now, these are just the facts, and these are not. This is not. I'm not going to throw any tinfoil hat stuff in here. Their thrift savings plan is going under maintenance. They have approximately until the 16th of May of this next month, I mean, rather, is the last day for them to submit or access all forms, online or hard copy. This includes withdrawal, rollover, or transfer requests, as well as beneficiary changes. Also, this is the last day to contact TSB via email. If they were to decide that they wanted to change over to, say, for example, a Roth plan and move away from the TSP, transfer their money, they have until May 16th to do so. May 26th is the last day to transfer between different mixes of investments or change contributions. The last day is to contact TSP via telephone. From May 26th at noon Eastern Time through the first week of June, May 26th to the first, sometime, they don't even say when, to the first week of June, account access will be unavailable. However, all invested funds will continue to reflect market changes during that period of time. If we see, and this is where you got to throw on your tinfoil hat just a tiny bit here, but if we see the market starting to move, they're going to be stuck. They will be absolutely stuck where they're at, and they won't be able to make any changes whatsoever between May 26th and the first week of June. And I think this would be a massive disservice. Our government, I've seen our government prop up our economy twice in the last month and a half. Like I've seen the markets on the verge of failing in the last month and a half twice. And now on Friday, the VIX got up to 24.38% on a single day, and they didn't do a dang thing to stop it. So make sure that if you know anybody who's a veteran, or you know anybody who is in the military currently, or even this even applies to any government working official, or not official, but employee. The TSP plan is 100% part of their life savings. Make sure that they know about this, because they don't all know about it. I called my son up and asked him. I said, but there are people who've been serving for a long time in the military, and their entire life savings stuck up in there. It would be a shame for them to not be able to make changes to where their life savings are distributed in the markets. I'm trying to fix it, Fuzzy. Give me just a second here. I forgot to turn off a few devices this morning, so give me just a second. Nosa, thank you very much for the reminder of not forgetting my glasses. They're sitting right here. I've got to put them on still. We'll take a look at our data. And I actually, believe it or not, logged into Fidelity because I'm working slower this morning because of me being in pain, severe pain. I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, and believe it or not, I made it to my computer in time to log in. That's excellent, Ty. That is excellent. I'm glad that you're not part of the TSP. But you know what, Ty, you're in the military. Look out for your brothers, because I know you do. Make sure that they know. Make sure they know this is coming, because it needs to be known. It's something that they all need to be aware of. There's going to be a lot of people that could be potentially impacted by that. It's pretty massive. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I may talk about it several times throughout the day, and if you guys don't like it, just tune out today, because that's gonna be my focus of discussion. Let me put on my glasses. I'm gonna try as best I can to put on my glasses. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for your service. I remember I come from a military family, Ty, and I remember there were several times where for Christmas my parents would invite over tons of Navy guys to come over and celebrate Thanksgiving when they didn't have any place to go. And man, I'll tell you what, I love military members. I love them. They're absolutely great people. And so many great stories. This was back in the day in when Top Gun was a big thing. And so my parents brought all of them over, and they knew, we all watched Top Gun together. They were all in the Navy and a bunch of sailors, and they loved every minute. Most every single one of those guys knew that movie word for word. I guess they had seen it plenty of times, but they still loved it every single time. Which is coming out again, by the way. The next Top Gun movie is coming out. Okay, these glasses are a little bit foggy still. 1 second. Yeah, but we got to watch out for our service members, and I want more people to know about that. Yes, AMC Level 2 Live. TSB has 3/4 of almost $1 trillion in assets. Almost 3/4. Yep. There's approximately 8 million investors, I believe, when we looked up the data last night. Thank you for looking that up. I should have just said it myself. But yeah, there's a lot of money there. If you guys know anything about 2008, our service members, their pensions and their 401ks got hit pretty hard. I'm not saying that we're going to go down during that specific period of time. That's the tinfoil hat thing that I'm trying to avoid saying. I just want people to know that they're not going to have access to their accounts if they're part of the TSP during that period of time. And it would be an absolute shame if they didn't have their positions safe. Yeah, Fuzzy Wuzzy says, "Yep, I lost a lot in 2008 from TSP." Yeah, I don't want to see that happen again, guys. I will be extremely pissed at our government if they backed up if they backed up the market and protected the market right up until the perfect timing to where our service members had no chance to be able to move their money around. No, Hayden, my mom cooked up like tons of turkey. It was the most amazing and feast ever seen. It was awesome. Those guys were fed very, very well. Alrighty, guys, let's take a look at our numbers here. I'm already logged into Fidelity, so I'm going to take you guys over to the other page. This is going to hurt. All right, extending my arm hurts pretty bad. Alrighty, we're on the other page. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. On the top left-hand side, our closing price was $16.52. That gives me the win for the week. It also gives everybody but Monty a point. Man, I hate being right-handed right now. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm hurting. I'm gonna be slow. I can't type. It hurts to extend my arm. All right, so I won the week last week. Congratulations, me! Yay! I'm so excited. Oh man, I finally get to win back some of those beers and ice creams I owe. Short exempt volume. Let's take a look at that and see what that was on Friday. With low volume, it's going to be probably pretty low numbers. 61.8 thousand shares in short exempt volume. Let's update Ortex and see if utilization is still at 100%. I should have had enough time to be able to update that over the weekend. Yes, they did. 100%. Day number 53. 53 straight days of 100% utilization. And the last true demon indicator is price decrease of negative 1.96% on Friday. And moving over to off exchange, total amount of off exchange volume was 43.38%, and CBOE EDGX was at 14.64, which is 2.4% higher than the normal average. But the off exchange was much lower. So the combined total between those was like 58-ish, 58% through the off exchange, which is not a whole lot. Normally we are used to seeing around 64%. Not a whole lot to suppress when you've got low volume. And let's see here. Moving on to the top right-hand side of the screen, you'll see institutional ownership was at 187.464 million. Let's see what that is this morning. Oh, and by the way, Bruno's okay. He didn't even yelp. Nothing. He took it like a champ. Let's see here. So institutional ownership on Friday was 187.464. It's now 187.499. So slight increase, about close to about 30,000 shares. Max pain for the week. We finished last week at 18. If I had to guess, we're probably at like probably still 18 today. Let's see. 1750. And let's take a look at those options. Highest amount of open interest this week. Well, actually, let's scroll down to the very bottom. At a $51 strike price, the same as last week. Let me make sure this is updated. Is this updated? 22nd. Hold on. April 29th. Yeah, okay, this is updated. Last week we highest amount of open interest was at a $51, the open interest at $51 was 11.1 thousand contracts. This week it's at 5.3 thousand contracts. Highest amount of volume on the call side in open interest is at an $18 strike price with 9.6 thousand contracts. Last week we finished with open interest highest at 18.5. And on the puts, last week the highest amount of open interest was at $15 strike price at 16 this week. And there's currently 8.9 thousand contracts. So the market's kind of indicating in open interest starting the week out, it's kind of pointing towards maybe a $17 closing price by the end of the week. move a couple screens. We'll take a closer look at Ortex data. I don't think my arm's broken. If my arm was broken, I don't think I'd be able to move the mouse around like I am. Going into the other page here, let's take a look at Ortex and see what it looks like. There's our utilization at 100% for 53 straight days. On-loan amount on Friday decreasing ever so slightly from 128.6 to 128.2, so less than a half mil. That should have a driving upwards effect on loan average age per day. It did at 98.72. And our short share interest of the free float is dropped. Did it drop or did it go sideways? Went from 19.16 to 19.12, so just a tiny drop. So we're starting out the week with 19.12% short share interest of the free float. Orders by Fidelity customers. Last Friday we were 24th in highest amount of trades on Fidelity. We had 76% buys to 24% sales. We definitely bought the dip, which is great. We looked really good. GME actually showed up on the list down here at 30th, and they had 77% buys to 23% sales. So they were smoking it as well. Looking really good there. Great numbers on Friday. Trigger price for SSR, $14.87. Shares available to borrow. Looks like they've returned a bunch of shares earlier this morning, and then borrowed a bunch. So let's take a look at that and see how many in total. Does look like the amount of shares that are available to borrow is starting to get smaller and smaller once again. $1.2 million shares having been borrowed so far this morning. Last week, the most we saw was 2.15 during trading hours. This is still looking really crappy here. It's not reporting. I don't think it's reporting good data here. It does show the 29th data in here. It's saying 76,000 contracts are out of the money on the calls and 20,000 contracts are out of the money on the puts, versus 2,000 in the money calls and 13.6 thousand contracts in the money on the puts. Almost a 10-to-1 ratio. Really close. And in the money versus out the money. I'm going to check these numbers really quick, guys. I just want to verify this information, so I'm going to take you over to the other page real fast, and I want to see how accurate this information is, just because I know Stonko Tracker's been having a difficult time reporting accurate numbers. So give me just 2 seconds while I just plug some numbers into a formula, a spreadsheet. Let's see here. Yeah. So out of the money calls right now, I have at 96.5 thousand contracts. So that Stonko Tracker data is not reporting accurately. That's actually no, that I take that back. That is not. Is that true or is that not true? Hold on one second. Let me just look and see what I copied. No, that is true. I've got 96.6 out of the money. So the reporting that it shows at 76.6 inaccurate. It's worse than that. So ignore Stonko Tracker's data. It's not reporting correctly. And in the money, I can actually report to you out of the money. I can report to you in the money puts as well with what I just tracked. Let me see here. There's 15.4 thousand contracts that are in the money on the puts. And let's see how that compares to Stonko Tracker. Stonko Tracker was reporting in the money is 13.6 in the money. Is that right? So that's off by like almost 2,000 contracts. Look at that, guys. China down 4.47, Shanghai down 5.13, Hang Seng down 3.73, Shenzhen down 6.08, Nifty 50 down 1.27. The BSE was only down, S&P BSE was only down 1.08, FTSE 100 down 2.2, FTSE 250 down 1.92. That's nasty. Those are some nasty looking numbers. The VIX. Oh, sorry, IWM is down 0.89, Tesla is down 3.74, Amazon is down 0.81, Cinemark down 0.3, Doge is down up 2.35, Bitcoin is down 1.86, GME is down 2, HYMC is down 3.33, Hood is down 1.27, and AMC is down 1.45. Kind of crazy to me how a gold money, if the market's starting to crash, how a gold mine is going down in value. Pretty crazy. Outflow versus inflow. Last week we had 2 million more in outflow than inflow, roughly. So far this morning we've traded 31.1 thousand shares this morning, and I doubt our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume is going to help to improve that to a point that I can guess anything higher than 20 to 40 million shares traded, but we'll see when it happens. On the weekly, there's more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 40.47, which is below average. On the daily, we have more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 41.25, below average. On an hourly, more selling pressure than buying pressure with an RSI of 38.02. On a 30-minute interval, more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 44.26. On a 5-minute interval, we have more buying pressure than selling pressure with an RSI of 58.62. And with that, I feel like I have Vicodin somewhere stashed. I feel like I need one. This hurts so bad. I don't ever. It's like one of those times where like the doctors issue like Vicodin when you're in pain for something, and then you finish and like there's like you got like 4 or 5 pills left, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna save those for a rough day. That's today for me. All right. With that, I can see what it is you guys are writing again. Are there any squeeze catalysts for May? I think that there are. In fact, Ross, we've got like a ton of squeeze catalysts as it stands right now, and they're all lined up, and it's just it's the whole market's looking crappy right now. Ross says, I know the Chinese military bonds go defunct on June 3rd. We've got GME, doing their vote on June 2nd. I mean, things are just all lining up right now. Good morning, Miss Harris. Volume is super low, Balaclava. Super, super low. I want to see 500,000 shares by 7 a.m. My time, which is in like 23 minutes. And this is nowhere near that. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, we've seen plenty of times in the past where price can, when you have low volume, price can move both up and be manipulated both down and up. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Lowboy says possible deal with Twitter. That's correct. I read something. I haven't verified it myself, but I read something earlier this morning, posted in the Discord from one of my guys that it looks like Twitter's rethinking the idea of selling 100% of the company to Elon. Lowboy says, "Thanks for the possible deal." I know, right? Give it. They're gonna give us some more. They're gonna give it to us cheaper. Oh boy, I'd slap my hands together and rub them, but it hurts too much. I'm in a lot of pain. Hayden says, the to go get together. I was broke when I joined. Had plenty of nice people help me over during flight school at Beeville, Texas. By the way, I've never played volleyball shirtless in jeans. So I actually went to the dorm that I lived in college. They were going to Top Gun originally wanted to film their beach volleyball scene in that dorm, and the reason for it is that the volleyball court, if you're standing on it, looks like it's overlooking the ocean. And that was from my dorm. Rough life, I know, right? Like I could go grab my surfboard and run down to the beach in a matter of probably less than 2 minutes from my dorm. And it was great. There was nothing between me and just it was running down a hillside, and I was at the beach. Rough life, that San Diego. rough of life. But apparently the college turned down the offer from Top Gun, and so they went and filmed it someplace else instead. Monty, I got you down 1550 to 1850. Thank you, sir. So Ty says Doctor Strange coils push numbers like spicy No Way Home. So those they've been collecting. They started the ticket sales like a month in advance. So we should be getting. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that Adam Aaron's going to try and I think he wants to push out the numbers the first week of May. I think he wants to push out those ticket sale numbers in the first week of May. So if you want like a very hard, solid, like what could be one of the first things that we see in the month of May as far as a catalyst, those numbers are going to look pretty juicy. Yeah, we would see some. Ross, I believe that we'll see some more downside before, with the market crashing. I don't think that we can avoid not going down with the market, but there will come a point to where we'll become negative beta to the rest of the market, and we'll start heading up. Once hedge funds can no longer meet margin requirements, that they'll start folding. It'll be the little guys first, and you'll see the price kind of moving upwards. Um, Pretty quickly, we'll probably stair step as we lose different hedge funds along the way, and but it'll look good though. I think a market crash is definitely, it's been on my books as one of the key things that has to happen before we start moving. If in regards to like the chicken before the egg, which has to happen first, I think it's market crash then moon. Lowboy says I'm happy because my Doge is ripping. It's awesome, man. Let's take a look at it real quick. If I had this set up right, I have no idea how I managed to like junk this all up. Ignore the bottom part. I need to go. I still haven't gone in here and fixed this, and I keep forgetting to. But yeah, this is you up here. Let's put it on a 30-minute. Looking really strong there. I'd drawn out a red line here, and this is kind of what I felt like was like a massive support line. Um, this is kind of like if it breaks past point 23, I think this thing could really start ripping. Just throwing that out there. Keto says 1478 to 1778. Got you down. And Keto, sorry to have stole your victory last week again. It's really funny. Like almost every single week where you almost win is the week where I end up stealing it from you. And then the other weeks, it's the other guys that are just dominating, like Eric. Yeah, I feel like I've been saying it forever, MCon. In all, to my defense, um, when you take a look at the VIX on the weekly, I legitimately felt like this was going to be the end, especially with four sending red candles, that this was going to be the end. But then we had that Barclay uh, $24 billion injection of money into the market that shouldn't have gone in. That kind of pushed the VIX down, and then it started to rise again. They put in some more. They did another cash injection, which to this date I still don't know where that money came from. They injected more cash in the market and prevented it from heading back down further or heading up further. And so this $24 billion thing, took like 3 weeks, 4 weeks before it started heading back up. And then they did another cash injection. I don't know how big it was, but it obviously wasn't enough to continue to keep this from continuing on here. And then you have this giant hammer candle at at the end here from last week. And, I think this thing's going to just absolutely pop. But if they do another cash injection into the market again, all bets are off. They keep seeming to be able to find money to be able to throw at the market to keep it propped up. I don't know where they're getting it from. Market go burr. If hedgies put out their money from the general market before a crash, so here's the thing, Justin. They would have to. So I've had this like brought up as a point. They would have to in order to open up new short positions to short the market, they would have to close out their long positions in the market, which would tank everything, right? It tanks the whole market when they start selling off everything, which is a market crash. Well, that's great and all, except for they have to, I mean, they do have to continue to hold, they have to hold enough equity to be able to keep up those margins. And if they're selling off their positions, then they don't have the equity, and so they would have to have the cash. They would have to have the cash available to like they wouldn't be able to move the cash into a new position, and they can't create more. They can't create more naked shorting because they're already leveraged. They're already leveraged against what it is that they've got going against the meme stocks. So they can't just reposition without losing, their margins. So it's a very tricky balance game that they're playing right now. And I would suggest that what you're saying could possibly be true for some of the larger players who have more money invested in their companies. The big hedge funds. But the smaller ones, those are the kind of conditions that they'll fold from. Hayden, Barclays is owned by BlackRock. Hold on a second. I think it was. Hold on a second. Mm, I looked it up before. I can't remember who it was. Somebody bought out Barclays, and I can't remember who it was. Let me pull it up and see. Bob Diamond led the effort to purchase the North American business of Lehman Brothers after its bankruptcy in September 2008, securing Barclays in its present form. Let's see, Lehman Brothers. That's from 2008. There was something after that that I recall reading. Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember doing some investigating on it, and I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm like in so much pain right now that it's like very difficult for me to even just read through this stuff. There it is. On On June 2009, Barclays sold its global investors unit, which included its exchange-traded fund business iShares, to BlackRock for 13.5 billion. So yeah, it was BlackRock that I read about. Standard Life sold Standard Life Bank to Barclays in October 2009. The sale was completed on January 1st, 2010. Um, Man, I hurt so bad. I need to go take some medicine. I'm still reading through it here. That's the transfer in 2009, 2010-ish to BlackRock was what I had read before. Although it seems like there may have been some other information since. Anyways, I don't think the PPT gave money to Barclays because I don't know. I don't know where the money came from, Hayden. All I know is that they injected it into the market earlier than they should have. Nasir, that is definitely what I heard. The chatter as far as Twitter and a deal with Elon, I heard the same thing. Why are the markets so red today? Because there's this little thing called inflation. It's called catching up, but it's not transitory. Old hippie says he's injured too. He did. Sounds like you had your legs crossed on the bed, fell forward out of the bed, and planted and head planted. That sounds worse than what happened to me. But you know that American History X part in the very first part of the movie where the guy props his head up against the curb? Yeah, I know that just that image probably just flashed through your guys' minds, and you didn't want to probably revisit that. But that was my arm, basically hitting the supporting footrest part and the wheel of the Peloton last night as I fell down. And my whole right side of my arm is just it's on fire this morning. Fuzzy Wuzzy says BlackRock according to Alexa. I'm pretty sure it's BlackRock. And we know that BlackRock has their fingers into everything. Oh, you know what? I forgot to move SSR. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta move it. 1487. Well, I'm glad you're okay, old hippie. 'Cause man, it sucks falling. Glad you're still with us. I was sitting there thinking to myself last night. I was like, I better take some like blood thinners or something. You don't want that clotting happening while you're sleeping. And I was like, oh man, that would be terrible if something happened to me. Tripping over my dog. Casey passed away. Tripping over his dog. You guys would all turn into a major conspiracy theory. But it really was me just tripping on my dog. I could totally see. You guys would definitely turn that into conspiracy theory. Nope, just tripped over my dog. Unless he's part of the conspiracy. Thank you, old hippie. And here's the thing, and I'm going to say it again because I want to keep talking about this. I think this is a really important topic. Every time somebody talks about either the song or what it is, for the title, I'm going to talk about it every single time today. If any of you know veterans or you have friends who are in the military, please make sure that they understand that there is something happening to the military's TSP program, which there's their thrift savings plan. It's their 401k that a lot of military members and government officials or government employees. I keep saying official, I mean employees. Government employees are this is their 401k. It's called TSP. And what I want everybody to start talking about is that on May 26th, they will no longer be able to make transfers between different mixes of investments or change their contributions until the first week of June. So between May 26th and the first week of June, they will have no access to be able to change anything. On May 16th, it's the last day to submit or access all of their forms. That includes withdrawals, rollovers, or transfer requests, as well as beneficiary changes. It's also the last day to contact TSP via email. So the ability for our people who've protected us and defended our country and worked for our country are all going to be severely limited if they're, going forward on the May 16th through the first week of June, and how they can move their retirement plans. And I think that's it's really gross. There's tinfoil hat stuff that I'm thinking in my head, but to me this is unacceptable. It is unacceptable for our markets to be in a fragile state and for them to be taking away their access to their retirement funds and not allowing them to reposition. There's $750 billion invested by our government employees. It's sick. It makes me sick in the stomach. I've talked about there being people in our community who are toxic. Well, this is our government. And right now, in my opinion, our government's extremely toxic because that is just unacceptable. And I will be extremely pissed if they let something happen to the economy and we watch the market crash while all those people have their accounts locked and they can't do anything. I will be so mad. I'll be so angry. So please make sure anybody who you know who's a government employee or a veteran or anybody who's involved in TSP that they know about this. I can't stress it enough. I want you guys to get this information out. I don't want to be the person who is the sole responsible person here to go around and try and make sure everybody knows, but please do what you can to let people know. Spread the word. Don't allow the people who have defended our country to be left behind. Hayden said, I laughed hysterically when EM disclosed that Twitter board only owned 77 shares. I didn't realize it was that low. I remember seeing the tweets about it, but I didn't realize it was that low. Thick said, sorry I was late catching the short bus. They said I was too slow. Talk about irony. Here's our 7 a.m. pokey stick of volume. 43,000 shares during that minute, minus the 76,000 shares in total. So we had 33,000 shares going into our pokey stick of volume. Our pokey stick of volume was 43. We had 33,000 going into it. Obviously, I'm not going to change my usual standard of 20 to 40 million. That's low volume. No way to cut that mustard any other way than just saying it's low volume. PC3 said, just a guess, our elected officials will have full access to their investments during this time period. I would I doubt that our elected I would go a step further, PC3. I doubt they're even involved in TSP. I bet you that I bet you they don't trust their money in TSP in the slightest. But they should have to. They should be forced to. I've said this time and time and again. Our elected officials should have to abide by the same rules and regulations and standards by which they put our military members through. So that, if you're going to sit there and tell them that they have to have some kind of health insurance or something like that, then that's the health insurance that they get. And they get to live on that and they get to see what it's like. Because if you want, I'm just too passionate about this stuff. I just don't, you should live and die by the standards by which you set and not to some higher standard. Do I think they can extend the executive order again? I don't know. I don't know if they will or not. Spread the word, not the turd. That's right. Keto says, Casey, do you see a scenario where the entire stock market goes digital and backed by crypto instead of dollar? So that's a great point, Keto. I actually watched a video this weekend by Janet Yellen. She spoke to, I can't remember the name of the school. It was a college, I think, in Washington, D.C. And I posted this. By the way, guys, I'm kind of upgrading the Discord and whatnot, but if you guys want any kind of like information or you want to start putting information in the Discord, feel free to. It can be like a localized central hangout place, and we can do poker nights and stuff. And it's going to be the place where I hang out when I'm doing off the air stuff, work. And if you want to work with me on doing the DD, we can work together. I've always said that iron sharpens iron, and but as far as Janet Yellen's 35-minute presentation, it's actually less than that. I took some general notes on it, and she kind of had there's a couple quotes in there that I kind of actually, you know what? Let's just talk about that. Let's just open it up and talk about it.
School of Business.
Let me see here.
School of Business, Center for Innovation. I want to welcome everyone. I'm Sylvia Burwell, and I am proud to be the president of American University. And as the first woman president, I'm especially pleased to be able to introduce.
So I'm going to go to 1348. The one thing at 1348 that she specifically said caught my attention, and I wanted to play this in two different parts. I wanted to play what she had to say. Actually, I wanted to play what Gary Gensler had to say about making sure that he protects the average investor, making a more fair market and all that kind of stuff. And she basically says like the exact opposite of his little saying at 1348. And I put down in my notes, how you like them apples, Gensler. We'll take a listen to that. Hold on one second.
But we must also be mindful that financial innovation of the past too often has not benefited working families, and sometimes it's exacerbated inequality, given rise to illicit finance risks, and increased systemic financial risk. And that brings me to my next lesson.
Anyways, that was kind of like one of those points where I was like, yeah, it's not beneficial to the average working family. At 12:22, she talks a little bit about a new program called FedNow. I don't know if you guys have heard of FedNow before. It was the first time that I'd ever heard of that before. That might be an interesting talking point at some future point.
In 2023, the Federal Reserve currently plans to launch FedNow, which is an instant payment service that will enable payment in real time, around the clock, every day of the year within the U.S. payment system. Now, some have also suggested that the introduction of a central bank digital currency, or CBDC as it's known, could contribute to a more efficient payment system. As a liability of the central bank, a CBDC could become a form of trusted money, something comparable to physical cash, but potentially offering some of the projected benefits of digital assets.
So yeah, I mean, she's talking about it. One of the things I did want to kind of point towards was her second lesson was when regulation fails to keep pace with innovation, vulnerable people often suffer the greatest harm. She starts to talk about shadow banks and subprime mortgage-backed securities. And she's basically kind of building this narrative that like look, we're on the precipice of having something similar happen again right now. Some kind of things are happening in the market where there may be a quote unquote catalyst, which is her third lesson that she moves into, where she talks about sovereign money is the core of well-functioning financial system. She talks about 1792, how American currency was just banknotes, and they really tried to kind of formalize U.S. currency into something other than banknotes, which is the dollar. But then she said that there is a catalyst. There's usually some kind of catalyst that occurs that causes the movement from the backing of the dollar by something to something else. So she's literally kind of talking about in the speech here a system where in the future, a catalyst, a quote unquote catalyst, will cause us to have to move to something, some other kind of currency in the future. And when she talks about that, she talks about it in terms of years, not something that's going to happen overnight. So it's I definitely got the perception, and I know Pantheon has said this many times, that it would take years for them to implement this thing, and she definitely goes into great length and detail to mention that it does take a long time to kind of move over to these kind of systems. But the final lesson that she had says is that we need to work together to ensure responsible innovation. And her main last point that she covers in this interview, which I'll link to you guys, or not interview, but presentation that she did for this college. Um, Her last point was basically to tell people, like, you know, you're gonna get on board with this. You have to. We have to, in order for us to have a competing market and some place to be able to have safe currencies and whatnot. This is where we're moving towards. And as business leaders of the future, you need to basically jump on board with this, because this is a fast moving boat and you better get on while you can. So it was a very interesting speech. It'll take up probably 30 minutes of your time if you feel like you want to sit down and watch 30 minutes of Janet Yellen talking. Um, if you want to understand what's going to be part of our future, I think you should watch it. I think you should understand what she has to say and try to absorb everything that she's talking about in there. Yeah, my Discord is up, Danny. It's up and running. I haven't like fine-tuned it or anything. And if you want a link to it, let me share it. I gotta remember how to do that. Let me see. Invite people. There we go. So I'll just go ahead and post this up here. I was going to post this up and pin it. So I'm going to pin this message to the top. And so that is the Discord. You guys are more than welcome to join the Discord. No cost. It's free. We can just hang out. And I just want to make it a cool place to hang out. I want us to have some place we can go and talk without having to feel like or just have us feel like we're safe, I guess, and that we can, freely think. I'm gonna get like lots of little beep messages from people who are joining. Thank you, Casey, for documenting, not trying to compliment coffee. Cheers. Thank you. I have fun, man. I have fun doing this. This I can't imagine not doing a documentation of what's happening and how the events are unfolding. No, Dana, you're not the only one. I'm extremely fearful of it as well. But at the same time, I think that you have to kind of realize that we still have law in this country. We still have law, and law does it's meant to protect us. So if we want to make changes, we can absolutely do so through law. Um, the kind of stuff that you saw where bank accounts were frozen for people protesting up in Canada, I don't think that kind of stuff can happen here in the U.S. I would love to see them try. If they tried something like that here in the U.S., they would be absolutely murdered in a lawsuit. You can't just go tie up somebody's funds because they choose freedom of speech to protest something. Um, they will lose horribly. And so I encourage the government to go ahead and try and put those kind of restrictions or try to tell us how we can and can't spend our money because I guarantee you people will not stand for that. You can turn off the beeps. Please tell me how myself, because I honestly don't know how to do that. Like I said, I'm not like real savvy yet here on. Let's see. I can mute the channel, mute server. I think that should do it. But I am Dana. I can almost promise you that they will try, right? They will absolutely 100% try to control our money and control us. 100% guarantee you. But I believe in people. I believe in this country, and I think that we'll stand up to um, those kind of actions. And I don't think that we'll let that happen. Keto, there's a little rocket ship at the bottom that says that you can um, start up a poke. Well, I don't know. I've never tried it yet, so I don't know how that's going to work. Um, but there is if you go, for example, to the voice channels, I think it is, which I'm in right now. I just moved to a voice channel. If you go into the voice channel, there's a rocket ship that says start an activity, and there's poker night there. I don't know how that works. I've never tried it before, but it does say it's in a beta. Um, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we can do some kind of poker night thing, which would be kind of fun. Good morning, Diaz. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yes, I could see it myself. Thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, I already. So what I did is I did it a little bit differently than the way that you're showing. Um, I just right clicked on the server, and then there was a mute button uh, on the pull down for notifications. Hold on a second, guys. So let's see what else we got going on here. I mean, the market's looking pretty hot right now. Pretty hot, on fire. Everything is down. Let me just check real quick and see if I've got any news on AMC here in the news. Nothing new on AMC showing up. Not anything new showing up on a news search on Google. I do want to pull up a news search on Twitter and see what it says. Elon Musk Twitter deal on tracks as Twitter finalizes terms of transaction. Wow. Twitter shares jump 5% on reports that it's ready to accept Elon Musk's bid. Well, this is pretty historical. I feel like maybe I need to start watching Twitter now. I thought I pulled it up before. Up almost 5% in the pre-market. Nice little cup shape there. That's cool, Dana. Mo money. Because it's funny because when I first started to read it, I almost read that as mom unny. I think you right click on your name and you can change your name in there. I'm not sure. I might actually be able to do it for you. Pretty sure there's a way for me to, oh yeah, change nickname. I think I'm doing it for you. I don't know how you want it to look. Hopefully I did it right. I think I just changed it for you. I'm a quick learner. I'm all like, I don't know how to use this. Here, let me just change your name. Very quick learner here. Yeah, I just changed it. It's showing up as Diaz now. Oh, wait. It was supposed to be Dana. Hold on a second. Oops, my bad. Hold on a second. I gotta change it again. It's Dana. Dana Young. Do you want to put in your full name or just part of it? Because I could just put Dan. It's either Dana or Dana. I'm not sure which. Dana. Let's see. Let me change it again here. Dana. I'll just put in I'll put in your full name. If you want me to change it later, just let me know. I screwed up there. Diaz was saying okay, more money, and then I was thinking I was just reading it wrong, so it's changed now. It's now correct. Meanwhile, Diaz is like, wait a minute, my name just changed. Casey's screwing up everybody's profiles. I'm an expert at this now, guys. I'm gonna give you guys all nicknames. You have to live with it. I'm just gonna call you what I want to call you. Your full name's showing up in there now. Old hippie wants me to change the name too. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if I can find it. What if there's like multiple people with cat pictures? I can't even tell what I can't tell what these pictures are. That might get dangerous. I'll tell you what, just send me a message in the Discord and I'll change it for you. Simp 1, Simp 2, Simp 3. That's hilarious. Coffee's gone. Banana. I'm gonna leave in about 6 minutes here, guys. I gotta go get some medicine. I'm in a lot of pain here, so. I haven't even had a chance to like go through my Twitter account this morning and let's see. And I didn't, Dr. Zeno I think wanted me to put out a video this weekend and I didn't get around to that. So, um, one second here. Old Hippie says, "Old age sucks. If anyone wants to adopt me, let me know." Even even my wife laughed at that one, Old Hippie. She thought that was funny. Yeah, so I was walking out of the bathroom last night. My dog, he's kind of a cross between a black and a brown lab. So he's a big dog, like really big guy, right? And like I'm 5'10", and if he stands on his hind legs, he's probably at least up to my chin, maybe even higher. Um, but anyways, he's over 100 pounds. Wait, how much does he weigh? Yeah, he's over 100, right? Yeah, barely over 100 pounds. Big dog, big guy. And so I walk out of the bathroom. The lights are off in the house because it was 10:30 at night, and he was laying down right there, and I tripped over him, fell down, smacked my arm, American History style X on my onto the Peloton, um, and my whole right side of my body is just like in massive pain right now. Tripping over the dog. He didn't even yelp. He didn't yelp. He didn't even hardly move to get out of the way. I was like, half my body was like laying on top of him, and he was just kind of like, "Oh, I think I'll move." I was like, "Oh, thanks." I was like sitting there just groaning. I didn't think I was gonna be able to stand up. All right, I'm gonna put in the message, and I'm gonna go take some medication because I'm in a lot of pain right now. I'm not my normal cheery self because of that right now, and I'm trying really hard to keep it together here. So if I seem a little loopy a little bit later, you'll know why. I'm taking medication. I can't even think. I'm coming back at 8:15. Thanks, Sammy. Let me see here. Let me readjust a few things real fast before I go. Oops. It's not what I always click the wrong thing for that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, Björk, because I've got some Vicodin that's probably like 2 or 3 years old. Like one of those instances where they prescribe you Vicodin and you don't want to take. I'm kind of one of those people where a doctor gives me pain medication and then I just throw it in a bottle or they put it in a bottle and I take like maybe half of it and I'm just like I just don't want to. I don't want to take pain medication unless I absolutely have to because I hate how it's addictive. I don't ever want to be addicted to any kind of painkiller. So I've got like leftover leftover Vicodin that I'm probably gonna go take. So if I seem a little loopy a little bit later, it's because I'm hurting bad enough to where I'm gonna actually go take some. So um, Bjork, I saw that. That's you sent it to the wrong one. Click on the link. Click on the link at the top of the page here, and you'll see that's to the my current Discord. I just created a Discord that's my own now. Froggy Styles, good morning. Froggy Styles was one of the last people to see me before I tripped over my dog and injured myself. So, like legit, like I almost thought I was gonna have to like go to the hospital and check and see if my arm was broken. Oh, MB, that sounds traumatic. Cool, Bjork. All right, guys, I'm gonna go take a break here. Like I said, if I come back all loopy a little bit later, you'll know why. See you guys back here in a little bit. I seem to be having issues with my songs playing today, but I'm back. Oh man. So I found out that the medicine that I had was Percocet. I took one of those, and I don't. My arm feels so much better now that I can actually feel the pain in my legs. So it's bad. It's bad when you have things that are hurting that you didn't know were hurting until you take some kind of pain medication. Um, but dang, I feel pretty good right now. It does say to take the medication once every 4 hours, so if I am loopy, I apologize. I feel pretty decent right now, though. Can at least move. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, old hippie. Yes, you guys can go to the Discord. I just want it to be like a cool place that we can hang out, whenever I do my DD, I'll be on there and I will put myself in. Like last night, I was watching that Janet Yellen video. And I had somebody come in there and he listened to the last portion of it. But if I'm doing DD, I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to hang out in there. And you guys are more than welcome to hang out with me, do DD with me. I mean, I figure two heads is better than one. Three heads is obviously more. So, I'm a huge believer in iron sharpens iron. So if we can work together to try and solve problems, great. But I also want it to just be kind of a cool place to hang out. I don't want it to be all work. There is such thing as having fun in life. So, it's just I just want it to be a cool place. How will we know if you're loopy? I think that's supposed to be you're loopy. I don't know. I don't know how you'll know. Um, I definitely feel better than I was feeling earlier. That's for sure. And I took the medication like just 45 minutes ago. So I can actually set my right arm down on the armrest, which is nice. I think I should probably. My wife was like, "You should go see the doctor." I was like, "Maybe." I probably should. Justin says Discord needs to be downloaded. Yeah, you gotta have Discord in order to do it. No way. I don't think of any way. I can't. I don't think there's any way around that. Um, but it's always up. And if you guys don't feel like doing Discord, that's cool. Don't do it. Like I don't ever want you guys to feel like you're at risk from downloading something that you're not familiar with. So don't. If you feel like it's risky, just don't do it. I tripped over the dog last night and I fell down and I mean it was a really hard fall. My right arm caught between something, the ground and an elevated object. So it was the Peloton's base stand portion on the front part of it. There's like a wheel on there, and so my arm, I caught my entire weight was caught on that on that arm, and it was funny. My wife and I were just looking at the crime scene just a few minutes ago, and we have those little hand weights, those little like 2.5 pound hand weights that were sitting on the ground. I was trying to figure out how in the world on a flat piece of ground my rib cage was hurt, and we noticed that the right where I fell down, those things were crisscrossed over each other, laying there. So I must have hit my ribs on those weights, those 5 pound weights or whatever those are, laying on the ground there. So that's probably why my ribs hurt. But yeah, it was a pretty nasty fall. My dog, he's okay too. Maggie says, "Did y'all see Froggy Styles' video on WebEx?" I hope you guys did. Um, be careful. Be extremely careful about everything. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and the last thing that you want to do is get some. Just be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. Is I'm glad that Froggy and Mediocre Trader are standing up for the community and identifying uh, potential risk inside the community and trying to help protect you guys from potential risks, things that could open you up to attacks or you got to realize, guys, this is millions of dollars that we're talking about here, millions upon millions of dollars. There will be people that are out to get your money, both before and after. So be careful, be extremely careful and vigilant, and verifying everything before you just leap into something. Good morning, Boris. Myself says that's what happens when you wrestle bears. That sounds like a funny but backhanded thing to say, myself. Yeah, balaclava, I do. I still think 20 to 40 million. There has been instances where we've seen massive amounts of volume spike up in the later portion of the day. Potentially around what would be 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There are margins that are checked, and if there's people who have to make settlements before a certain period of time, we have seen instances where like I'll predict 20 to 40 million, and then it suddenly spikes in the last portion of the day, and you end up getting some 120 million shares instead. So it happens, but as of right now, I don't see anything different in the pre-market volume, and I never change my prediction. Even if I'm wrong, I don't mind being under my volume prediction. I mind being over. Being over in volume prediction is much worse than being under. Prometheus says you got hurt because Miss Shaw got a little too frisky. Tell the truth, Casey. She beats me up good. Nah, she didn't. She wasn't here to push me down the stairs. Yeah, I tripped over the dog. This story's gonna get shorter and shorter and shorter each time I have to tell it. I tripped over the dog, and I fell pretty hard and hurt myself pretty good. So I'm in a lot of pain. I'm trying to be as positive as possible on this show, and I have Percocet in me right now, so that helps. If I get off track, guys, if I just kind of do I have life insurance? Uh, yes, I do actually. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. I want to talk about our topic, but I'll wait until after the show starts. Our troops defended us. Let's defend our troops. This is a really important topic for me, guys, that I really want to focus on today. And I want to get the word out. I really want a lot of people to see this. I want this to be something that we talk about. If there's anything, I get all choked up talking about it. My son's in the military. Like it's not just because my son's in the military. My mom's a military member. My dad was a military member. My grandpa was a military member. Like I come from a family of military, and it's not just that. It's all of our government employees who serve our country. And this is a really important topic for me because I'm here to defend retail, and we don't have anybody else looking out for us than ourselves. Nobody else cares. Everybody else wants to just take our money. The only people that can look out for us is ourselves. And so I'm here. I'm going to defend our troops. Good morning, Sammy. Pain meds, excuse to start drinking early. Those probably don't mix well together, I would imagine. I'm gonna try to avoid the alcohol. If I do have to go into the doctor's, I'll probably wait for the pain medication to go on, to wear off. But yeah, this is a big topic for me, and I'll talk about it after the show starts. But um, it's a really, really big topic, and it affects a lot of people um, that have served our country. So we'll talk about it. I can't possibly finish what I need to say in like 3 minutes. So we'll have to wait until after the show starts. Well, I shouldn't say the show starts, but the after market opens. Good old boys barbershop says I've had my best nights on meds and alcohol. That doesn't sound good, bud. Doesn't sound good. That's awesome, Prometheus. You're going to want to hear what it is I have to say because this affects all of them. And, you know, they protected us, so we got to protect them back. I hope you feel the same way. We got about 2 more minutes here, a little less than 2 minutes before market open. Volume is definitely low this morning. Market across the board is kind of taking a little bit of a dive here. We do have the VIX is already up almost 3%. One of the interesting ones to me is that gold, our HYMC, is down 5.33%. You know, gold should not be going down when the market's going down. So this is pretty systemic across the board. To see the entire market going down is kind of, it's kind of scary. Doge is up 6.55%. I'll be curious to see how much of the market's actually going down when we take a look at the numbers at 9, but it's probably going to look pretty nasty. You would have to use WebEx I think is used for doing meetings, I believe. So, you would have more than likely had to click on a link or download it yourself in order for it to be on your computer. The link would have been something that you would have participated in a WebEx call. It is time to open up the market here. We'll take a look at stuff after market opens, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. We're about 90 seconds from the launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are transferring to orbiter internal power at this time. Discovery is now running off its 3 onboard fuel cells. Coming up on a go for auto sequence start. And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. T-minus 17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
booster separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward leg now in S10. Okay, you sound good. Discovery Houston, negative return. Copy, negative return.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. The men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Good morning, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC and ADD, where we buy, we hold, and we screw the hedgies. Screw the hedgies! I screwed up the music right at the very end. How do you do that? Ah, dang it. All right, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the important topic here. I can't believe I screwed that up. How do you do that? How the heck do you do that? All right, let's talk about this. This is the thing that's going to really kind of frost some of your guys' cakes. So I had an opportunity to go on to Froggy's Style show on Saturday night. There was a gentleman who came onto his show, and he basically said, "Hey, look, I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. You guys been teaching us along the way, and we're learning so much. I have a new girlfriend, and I've been teaching her some of the things that I've been learning along the way. And we decided to take a look at her 401k, and we're finding out that we're having a difficult time repositioning some of her money. Can you help us out?" So I said, "Yeah, who's the broker for your girlfriend?" And they didn't really quite know who the broker was, and so she came on and she said, "Well, I work for the government." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 too much information." But I happen to have a son who's in the Air Force, and he told me about their savings plan, the TSP, which is the thrift savings plan that they use. Um, and I said, let me take a look at it. Is it TSP? And she goes, "Yeah, that's the one." So I went and looked it up, and I found an article. And one of the things that I'm going to kind of scroll down to here is they're going through a period where they're upgrading their systems, quote unquote, upgrading, right? I'm going to take the tinfoil hat off here, and we're just going to talk about facts. And the one thing that I want everybody to talk about, I really want everybody to start talking about this is majorly important, is that on May 16th, it's the last day for them to submit or access all forms online or hard copy. This includes withdrawal, rollover, or transfer requests, as well as beneficiary changes. Also, this is the last day to contact TSP via email. They will not accept any other email requests for forms to do anything beyond May 16th. We are right around the corner from that. It's like 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away from them being able to do any of those things: withdrawals, rollovers, transfers, or beneficiary changes. On May 26th, that will be the last day for them to make transfers between different mixes of investments or change contributions. It's the last day to contact TSP via telephone, meaning you won't be able to. Anybody who has TSP as their source for their retirement funds will no longer be able to make between May 26th, and it says the first week of June. It doesn't say when the first week in June. These are just facts. These are the factual things that I want to talk about. I want you to talk to everybody that you know who's a service member and just make sure they know this information. I don't want you to go beyond anything beyond just saying, "Hey, look, did you know that you won't be able to access your information between a certain period of time, from May 26th until the first week of June, that they won't be able to make transfers or do anything." These are the facts. They need to know this information, because if we start seeing the market start to downtrend, now this is the tinfoil hat part, right? If the market starts to have a downtrend and they want to start moving their positions from one place to another, and it happens to be during a period of time that's like May 26th to June 1st, or the first week of June, then they will have no ability to change anything, and they will be stuck exactly where they are at. They will not be able to move anything. We need to protect our troops. The troops need to know, our government employees who are working for us in our country need to understand that they are going to, if they are part of TSP, they are going to be locked in a position during that period of time, and they need to know this information. If they wanted to roll over their funds to a Roth, that is entirely possible still. At least based off of the information that I can see here, that is still possible. It's going to be a little bit harder because they have to get it seems like they have to get online or hard copies of their information before May 16th, but they can't do it over paper forms. So it doesn't look like paper. Last day to request paper loan document. Okay, so that's just loans. Last day to request all their paper forms. Okay, yeah, so it really looks like May 16th is kind of like the deadline for wanting to do, transfers or movements of I should just read what it says. To be able to do withdrawals, rollovers, or transfer requests, as well as beneficiary changes. May 26th to the first week of June, again, they will no longer be able to make any kind of changes until after that time frame is up and over. So, there's people, I contacted my son this weekend. I said, "Hey, yeah, they're doing upgrades to the system, Salty." That's what they're doing. If you read the article, I'll post the article in here for you guys to read this. This is from military.com, of weird source. It was published on the 31st of March of 2022. It is pretty recent. But there's the article. I posted in the comment section here. Please, 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 If you know somebody who's in the military or somebody who's a government worker, let them know about this. When I contacted my son and asked him if he knew whether or not that the TSP was going to be freezing his account during a certain period of time to where he couldn't make changes, he had no clue. None. He had no knowledge of it. Now, he's only been in the military for a year and a half. But according to this picture right here, you can see this this Army um, uh, I don't know if she's an officer. I can't see her rank or anything. Service member, Army service member, talking about the thrift savings plan, and it's posted 20th of October 2021. So it makes it look like she's doing a presentation on these changes and what's going to happen. My son never received any kind of class on this. Now it may be because he was already in some type of training and he was not able to do this, but not everybody knows, and I think they need to know. They need to know this. At the very least, they just need to know. I tweeted it out this morning or yesterday, I think it was, old hippie, and I you know, if you wanna retweet what it is that I put, this needs to be spread out there. Somebody came in here earlier this morning. We looked it up. If you want to go look in TSP, there's about $750 billion worth of money invested through TSP, and about I think it was 8 million participants. 8 million participants with about $750 billion. So reach out to anybody that you know who's a a possible person of that 8 million. Mediocre says I didn't sleep well. Mediocre, if you want to come on and talk about it, you're more than welcome to. I can just let me know if you want to come and talk. You're more than welcome. Hold on a second here. Actually, I'm just now seeing that you have a message to me. Hold on, I can't see it. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Yes, I'm here. I'll put myself in the private interview room for Discord. So if you want to go in there and talk, you can go in there, and I'll be able to broadcast your voice. Just to know that if you go in there, you'll be live. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Nobody looks out for retail, guys. Nobody's on our side. The government's not on our side. Our brokers are not on our side. Nobody looks out for retail except for retail. Breaking news, Twitter to accept Musk's offer to buy. I saw that. Looks like we had some good movement in market open here. We ran a TD9 and touched most of the Bollinger Band on the way up. This is kind of one of those things they do at the beginning of the week to try and drive in a whole bunch of option buying. 1750 is max pain for the week. We're currently at 1650. I read it actually earlier this morning, Adam, that the news. I pulled up a Twitter on that. If you just type in Twitter into Google and then pull up the news tab, why can't I type? I'm single-handed typing because I don't want to move my right arm. So Reuters is saying Twitter's set to accept Musk's original $43 billion offer. And that's as of 9 minutes ago. I appreciate that, Mediocre. And I would, if you want to come on and talk about, some of the stuff we talked about yesterday, I'm definitely encouraging you to talk about it. I don't want to see people get hurt either. It's not just our troops that I'm worried about. I'm worried about all retail. But in this particular situation, this is one of those things where it's like there's people getting hurt everywhere right now. There's a lot of important topics to be talking about, especially the one where WebEx is a potential threat. Hey, I think we got rain. Nice. Sounds like rain outside. Not me, doctor. I knew you were right. I knew you were right, and I couldn't talk about it, but you're right. Yeah, I knew you were right. And I really am I'm grateful that Mediocre and Froggy were able to stand up and talk about what it is that they're finding. Those things are extremely important to talk about. The last thing we want to do is see people swindled out of their money. We just play the rules, Big Tramp. That's all we have to do. We can actually win playing their game without playing their game. It's amazing how simplistic of an idea of buy and hold works. Adam, I'm on Percocet. I'm super excited. I'm passionate about what I'm talking about today. I'm on Percocet. I had a tumble last night. I'm hurting pretty bad, and so I'm on Percocet, and my voice is higher. I'm talking faster. It's yeah. I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of pain right now, and I'm not stressed. Just in a lot of pain, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed that I feel like our government is screwing people over, and I don't like that. Pantheon, good morning. Prometheus says, "Did you see the last couple of weeks that the woke socialists in Washington D.C. have been talking about defunding the Department of Veterans Affairs and all veterans programs?" I have not seen that, and that really kind of pisses me off a little bit. You know, I don't know what to say. Mediocre, welcome to the show. Prometheus, or not Prometheus, but Pantheon, if you, I don't know why I get you guys' names mixed up. Pantheon, if you want to go into the Discord and join into the interview room, you're more than welcome to. You have that ability. Just throwing that out there. Anybody who's a moderator um, on the Discord can just access that whenever they want. Um, Doctor, I would love to, but I can't. I gotta keep this up, man. I gotta keep going. I gotta push. My pain is nothing. We're gonna push through it. We're gonna keep on going here. I just gotta beat the devil out of the brush. Just beat the devil out of it. Pain, eh, it's just a sign of weakness leaving the body. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Pro Jeweler.
Good morning, Casey.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Just, I don't know.
Y-
It sucks when you find stuff out like that, That's all.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
So did you want to share? Because I haven't really I haven't watched the video with a lot of people. Did you want to share that with people who are watching right now, or do you not want to go into it? I know I could just link the video and say, hey guys, go check this out, kind of thing, if you want me to.
Well, to be honest, I'm still getting more information, and I don't want to put too much more out. And I'm just trying to say that it's
I I'm getting hated on by the internet data data lovers. My neighbors are using too much internet. It's definitely buffering. We'll see what
That
happens here.
stinks.
Yeah, that's just something I got to live with.
You know, I don't. I want everybody to understand something. I don't like really trashing people. That's not my thing. You know, I just don't. But I don't 100% think he's the only one involved.
Mm,
I'll just leave it at that.
mm.
I have my suspicions.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you're, looking out for the community and trying to stay vigilant and trying to identify the characters within the community who are not for the community. I think that's important.
Yeah. It's hard when you're not even, um, you don't have everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's difficult because you want to say something right away. You want to like just shout at the top of your lungs, but you have to really kind of get
But you
all your
can't.
ducks in order and really make sure that you have to dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and make sure that everything that it is you're talking about is 100% factual and not just hearsay or any of that kind of stuff. So I get it.
Right.
Pantheon, welcome in here. Just want to let you know, Pantheon has joined in. Good morning.
Good morning, Pantheon.
AP's asking about my arm. My arm is jacked. I just took a
What did you
Percocet,
do, Casey?
dude. So like after we got off last night, I was talking to AP for a little bit, and I went to the restroom, and then my dog was laying outside the restroom door, and when I came out, all the lights were off in the house, and you know how I like to sit in the dark at night, all the time, and I tripped over him and I fell and caught my entire weight on my right arm and it was pinned against the Peloton and that wheel that it's got on the front that um, rollerblade looking wheel.
Yeah.
My arm like basically my elbow was on the ground and my arm smashed into the wheel and my whole weight like basically like caught onto that front portion of the stand for the bike. A- and
Ouch.
my ribs hit. There was a pair of hand weights, like those 5 pound hand weights and they were crisscrossed, and my rib cage smashed on that. And yeah, I took a pretty nasty tumble. Dog was okay. He didn't even yelp. He was a trooper. Um, but yeah, I was hurting. I'm hurting pretty bad.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pantheon.
Good
How you
morning,
doing?
Pantheon. How are you?
Good. Had to get the audio working.
Stupid audio.
Yeah, that happens. I had to too. It took me a minute as well. The spy seems to be kind of holding up, even though it's in a slight downtrend.
Are we talking about that video from last night? Is that what's
If
happening?
if you'd like to, I'm trying not to, but we can if you want to.
I kind of would like to,
Okay.
because there were inaccuracies scattered through that video, and I don't think you guys were fair to the entire situation. So,
Uh,
if this is the time and place, I'd be happy to have the conversation with you, mediocre. If Casey
Sure.
says this is not the time or place, then we can take this somewhere else.
No, sure. We can do it because I never said it was 100% factual thing. I said that there are vulnerabilities, and I said it today. There are.
So,
It's
what
a
what
known.
what you guys don't understand is there's software called WebEx, and then there's areas of there's different types of WebEx, okay, software that have malware. And that's the same thing with GoToMeeting. It's the same thing with Skype. It's the same thing with any other software where people can get together and have a conversation. People take advantage of popular softwares. I've been using WebEx for over 10 years. in my architectural career. It's one of the most common pieces of software used in British Columbia. There's GoToMeeting and there's WebEx. I've had WebEx on my computer for over 10 years. The version on my computer is completely CSI, who made a reaction video, and he can't even explain what WebEx is. You guys have gotten people worked up, and you don't have the facts. You don't. You shouldn't have made that video last night, because other than the WebEx portion, everything you guys said is stuff nobody cares about. Honest to God. I'd
Okay.
go ahead. Yeah, like and I'm not an enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm not defending Cam.
So,
Cam can defend himself, right? Sorry, go
can
ahead.
I say this?
Yes, sir.
Froggy's issue with his computer had nothing to do with me. I didn't say anything about it. I wasn't involved in that conversation. If you watch the video, you'll
Yep.
see. Okay.
That's correct.
That's between Froggy and Cam. All
That's
right.
correct.
What I said was, and there is evidence of what I said, that there are vulnerabilities with WebEx. Okay. And I said, based on the way Cam has been acting and trying to bring people on to his server, private server, I'm the squeeze specialist. There's a ton of things that he says.
Sure.
Okay, Pantheon?
Sure.
So that make him look that way. All right. I didn't say that he is that way because I'm not 100% positive that he is, but there is some suspicion there. That's
So,
what I said.
so I'd like to respond to that because
I removed it.
you were very calm, you were very even, and you were very clear that your intent to being in that video was for the betterment of the community. You came off quite well in that regard. Okay? But you two did it together. You two did it together, so you're in the same boat.
I can't control what Froggy says.
No, you cannot, but you were on that with him. You guys decided together to put that out there. Froggy's was, it didn't come off well to talk about. I'm going through Discords and I'm going through other chats. Boss Blunt's Discord banned him immediately after the video. CSI got everybody worked up immediately with a reaction video. He doesn't even know what WebEx is. This WebEx is not malware. I know it's not. I've been using WebEx for 10 years. It's on my computer. It's been for a long time. I have no performance issues. There's no backdoor issues here. Those are two very different things. And now we've got a bunch of people who are completely confused, including Froggy, on the difference.
Why does Cam say that in his videos, though?
Sorry, why does he say what?
Why does Cam say that he has keyloggers and all this stuff in his videos when he's live? Why is he saying those things then?
Those are two extremely different things. What you guys brought up was easy screen recorder.
We brought up that the WebEx server is a keylogger that he sends you an email and you have to sign into. That's what we brought up. That they force download WebEx onto your computer, because that's what they do.
There's two different types of WebEx. There's a malware WebEx that does keystroke reminding, whatever it's called, and then there's a clean version. This is a clean version. It is mediocre. Not all versions of WebEx record every keystroke. That is untrue. I'm telling you, it's untrue. And what you guys were talking about was easy screen recorder, and you've got everybody screwed up between the two. Froggy did the same thing on the video. That's a totally different piece of software that has nothing to do with CS trades. And other people download it. Do you know that Cam didn't even push WebEx? That was people within his own group that started the WebEx. Did you know that the easy screen recorder was from Hoosier Proud? And that
I only know about the WebEx stuff and that it has vulnerabilities. So I'm not going to speak on anything other than that.
But not all WebEx have vulnerabilities.
Okay, I understand that.
But that's not what you guys said. That's not what you're saying right now.
I don't know that. How do I know that?
Then you shouldn't say it.
WebEx does have vulnerabilities. It's on the internet. I encourage people to go look it up. What do you want me to do, Pantheon? I'm not going to lie to people.
Mediocre.
It has vulnerabilities. I'll put a link in for the people right now.
Some cars have issues with their catalytic converters. You can't make a statement that all cars have got to be worried about your catalytic converters. That's what you've done. I'm looking out for the community. You guys have created people getting riled up here. That is not fair for the community.
I'm not trying to get people riled up. I'm trying to help people understand that there's vulnerabilities. Maybe they should be careful in what they do. That's it. They can make their own decision. They're adults. Are they not, Pantheon?
They
So
are
I put
adult.
out, all right, I put out information that is factual. You can look it up online that says that WebEx is vulnerable. It says that. It has vulnerabilities. Whether it's the right one or the wrong one, I don't know. I'm not investigating that. I'm just putting the information out there. Cam uses WebEx. Does he not? So how did
I'm
I
not.
mislead anybody? I didn't. That's what I'm telling you. And you can
You
say what you
you and
want to say, but
you and Froggy are the ones getting emotional here. That tells a lot. I'm not getting
I'm
emotional
emotional.
here. You are. You're getting upset with me. You are. And I'm spouting the
I'm
facts
not
here.
upset. I'm upset with the fact that you're telling people that I put out misinformation when I did not. There's information saying that WebEx has vulnerabilities. Plain and simple. It's there. It says it right about your phone. I'm going to post you the link. You can go read it for yourself.
Please do. I have read this off. I read the links. We've been using it in multi-million-dollar corporations for many, many years. It's no different than GoToMeeting. There are versions that people try and take advantage of people of. This is not it. It's not. And what you guys call proof, you haven't proven anything. But
I
you
did
got
say there was proof. I never said that.
voted last night that it was proof. It was not clear in the video last night that this is still 100% up in the air.
I made
And
it clear. I made it clear. Yes, I did.
I don't think you
I
guys
did.
did.
You can't say you guys. I did.
I
In
can
the
say you
video.
guys. I can say you guys. If I
Okay.
go on with Casey and it's about something is said that is what's happening, I can't distract myself from that.
I think the main thing that I'd like to say here is that if a vulnerability is found in a piece of software that people
Again,
are
I'm not in here defending. I'm not here defending Cam. Cam can defend himself.
no, I can't, so all I'm trying to say is if as a community we come together and we say like, hey, look, here's a vulnerability that we've found inside the community and it could be potentially used for harm and not good, then I think that pointing that out is I can't speak for 100% of the video because I didn't watch the entire video. I only watched the first portion of the video from last night. But I think that if there are indeed vulnerabilities in any kind of software that the community is using, then people deserve to know that. They absolutely 100% deserve to know that those vulnerabilities exist.
Then why aren't we talking about vulnerabilities with Discord? Those exist too. And let me just say, the video last night, had it been, I know that certain people didn't want that video made. Okay, had that video been presented that there's a piece of software called Discord and we believe there to be vulnerabilities and here's the evidence behind it, that's one thing. That is not the tone or tenor that was said last night. That was a witch hunt last night, and I'm not defending Cam, but that video last night, you cannot say I'm not responsible for the tone and tenor of that video. You were there as one of the people holding it. And that came out that Cam's screwing you guys. He's a shyster. He's a con man, is what was said, and that he's here pulling people away to get to their Discord or to his WebEx, and he's screwing you for money. That's what was said last night, among the software being compromised.
None of those
Christopher,
words came out of my mouth.
this is what came out of the video, mediocre.
What I said in the video is what I said, and I stand by what I said in the video. What I cannot control what Froggy says, okay? And if Froggy and CS Trades have an issue, that's between Froggy and CS Trades, all right?
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
and Froggy put evidence to back what he said up. Other than that, I have nothing further to add to the conversation except that the information that I'm putting out, and for anybody who wants to know, I'm putting it in Casey Shaw's Discord as we speak. I will be dropping links, and you guys can come look at them there. That's what I'm going to say. I had nothing to do with blaming Cam, saying that's it's off fact. I have no evidence of that. I do know that it's kind of sketchy, which is why I left from over there. What Froggy said about why I left over there is not everything why I left. All right, I had no issue with Cam other than I just couldn't trust him. If you want to hash that out right here, I will. I just didn't trust the guy. That's the
What if
only reason why.
hold on a sec. What have I said about 5 different times? I'm not here defending Cam. I'm not making this about Cam. I'm making this about what was said about the technology yesterday. And again, like I said, you're being emotional.
Stand by
You're
what I
turning.
said about the technology. That's it.
Then let's have a conversation about the issues with Discord. Let's have that conversation. Let's talk about
Go ahead.
issues with YouTube. Let's talk
Go
about
ahead.
all these different softwares. Well, you're not doing that.
Let's have the conversation. Discord has plenty of issues. The Discord people can come in, put a bot into your server, and destroy your server. That's a fact. All right. There's all kinds of issues with Discord. There's bots that people send in crypto, click this link, garbage all the time. I'll talk about any problem with any software. I don't care. If it can damage the community, that's fine. My Discord is protected. I have mods and I have ways to prevent bots from getting on my server. Every time
That's
a bot gets on my server, it gets removed, so people
that's a
don't get hurt.
that's a great point. Would it have been fair to let Christopher, who's offered to come on and discuss the WebEx in person? He's not running away. Christopher's the guy who created it and set it up. Would it not be fair to have got Christopher on and have this conversation with him? You just made a great point about your Discord. Let him explain the security behind his WebEx and why he set it up in a certain way that is secure. Wouldn't that be a fair conversation?
I mean, he can have that conversation with the community. That's on him. He's the one who started the WebEx server, not me.
But he's
I
not the
mean,
one that came out and made a video about how WebEx is basically stealing from
I mean,
everybody and everybody should get out of it, which triggered Common Sense Investor to make a reaction video on a software he doesn't even understand. Thus, getting people in the think tank of Boss Blunt's Discord banning people overnight. That is all unfair. It's all unfair, man.
listen, I didn't tell anybody to do anything other than to protect themselves and do their own investigation. I said it in the video. How many more times do you want me to say it?
So
That's what I told people.
you're gonna say that you made a video with Froggy and you're not responsible for any of the negative outcome that video was created because Froggy said it. You're immune.
What
This is what
Froggy
I'm
said
hearing.
about Cam is between him and Cam. I'm going to say it. That's the last time I'm going to say that.
I'm
Okay, they
talking
have.
about.
All right. Well, then what are you talking about? Whether it has vulnerabilities. It does. How many more times I put the information out? I'm going to stand by what I said. I don't understand what you want me to say anymore. It has vulnerabilities. Do I know that he's keylogging people? No, I'm not 100% sure on that. Is there reason to suspect so? That you make your own judgment on that. That's what I said, and that's what I'm sticking with. And ain't nobody gonna tell me otherwise. I won't be on the WebEx server, period.
Alrighty. Let's see. It's past 9 o'clock.
How you feeling, Casey?
Look, I'm feeling. Let me tell you how I feel. I think
Sure.
that there's nefarious people within our community who are bad actors. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm just going to say I do believe that there are nefarious people within our community who are bad actors. If we detect something and we see something, I feel like it's our duty to say something, right? That's kind of a popular term. See something, say something. In this particular instance, I think that some people noticed some things that were kind of odd and unusual, started saying something, and questions were had. People didn't, respond appropriately, and people started digging into some more stuff and started finding other things. And it was just kind of like, okay, what's going on here? What's really happening? And I think that there's this. I think there's a wanting of trying to protect the community, um, and I like that, but I also do want it to be fair. I don't think that we should be just witch hunts, Salem witch hunts. I don't want Salem witch hunts, but I do want people to be very fair in their reporting of what it is that they're finding. And in regards to there being some vulnerabilities in WebEx and it being able to be used as a keylogger, I think is kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, it has vulnerabilities. Like we said, there's also vulnerabilities in other software that we use as well. Take a look at that. Take a look at it. See if those are things that you're being asked to use. I've actually started my own Discord here just recently, and I haven't even put up some of the things that I need to put up probably in order to protect the community inside my Discord. And so that's something I need to start looking into. And so if somebody calls me out on that and says, "Hey, dude, you're like you've opened up the community to a whole bunch of attacks, and you're just leaving your Discord for just anybody to join and not having any kind of security whatsoever to protect us," I should own up to that. I should own up to it and see like, yeah, that's pretty messed up on my part. I need to do something. So I absolutely kind of agree with what you're saying as far as Discord goes. Here I am inviting people to my own Discord, and I'm not trying to protect people. And I think that's kind of bad on my part. So I'm going to try and do what it is that I need to do on my end to make sure that I'm trying to protect people as much as I possibly can. But I would encourage anybody to see when they see something, say something. Talk about possibilities and things that people could potentially find holes or ways to attack us, because they will come. The attacks do come, and being prepared is probably planning to or failing to plan is planning to fail. So I mean I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying be careful. I want everybody to be very, very careful. Super, super careful.
And I'll just clarify once again that's being missed here. I clearly said off the start that their version has a malware in it. What kind of files should they look for when they go to their control panel? What types of clues would help them? I would tell you that the people who are using that software right now are not going to, on an overall basis, know how to do that. So if you really wanted to help people with it, which I believe you did, that would have been a piece of the puzzle that would have really helped out. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I don't know. Let me read this to you, and you tell me what you think this says.
I spent
Let me
5
go.
minutes looking up different types of malware, and I can give you a list of what files people should be
It's not
looking
what
for.
it's not malware. It's a program itself, is it not? It's the WebEx program. Let me pull it up.
That's not
And
the
I'll
article
read it.
Froggy put up last night. The article he put up is about how it was being used by people in fake versions of WebEx to get people's information. That was the article he put up.
All right, but that's not what I put up. I
Okay, so
put up
I guess I
that
can
the
only talk about
program.
10% of the video, right? I can only talk
I
about. Okay,
I don't know.
it's
That's not what I'm
ridiculous.
saying. What Froggy put out is not what I put out. I put out something that clearly came from WebEx that clearly states that it can keylog even when you're in other programs. That WebEx itself put it out, not some fake thing, nothing else. It was WebEx itself from the WebEx website. And I'll share the link, but I'm looking in your general chat and it's not there. Casey,
What's
I
on
just
my?
posted it.
You just post in my general chat and
I'll
it's
go find
gone.
it again. Yeah, I'll go find it.
Hold on a second. How did it get removed? No, it's here.
I don't know.
It's here. It's like
Maybe I
the
didn't post it in the right
it's on
spot.
it's under the general. Do you want me to post it into the
Yeah, but I
YouTube?
posted a couple of them.
I
Let
can
me see which one it is. Because there's 4 different links that I 3 that I provided, 1 that Froggy provided. So I just want to be clear on what I said.